Hello, presidential fight fans. Welcome to History Teacher Gone Rogue, and this is Presidential Madness, the Final Four. We've winded our way through our 44-man bracket, presidents fighting cage matches, to find out who was the toughest president of the United States. I'm Mark Haggard, and joining me in studios, Hitman Dan Young. Hitman.
Absolutely, it's good to be here, and just great news coming to us recently. The coronavirus will not cancel this tournament, nor will it limit fans from attending the fights.
That is great news. We're worried about that. Dan, you didn't tell me that there was a bridge named after you in Utah, but they had to change the name because no one crosses Dan Young and lives.
That's true. Many lives were lost on that bridge. None of those are mine, though.
Okay, right on. All right, if you haven't been following along, well, this is video number 20.
This is actually number 8.
Video number 8, and you are welcome to go back to our selection show and work your way forward, and you're certainly welcome to subscribe to History Teacher Gone Rogue and ring the bell so you know when we ring the bell on our matches. All of our matches are scored by a panel of prominent historians that are also lifelong time coaches. We know history and we know talent. Myself, my friend Dan, the fight doctor Dave McDonald, OC Rob Dorian, and Jason the Bengal Taylor. We've traced so far 42 matches pitting the President of the United States. Some of the matches were awesome, some were dogs, but we've come down to the Final Four. All right, enough playtime. Let's get after it. First fight, George Washington versus Andrew Jackson. Washington lost 3 falls in his 3 matches. Jackson swept through his three previous matches. Washington, Mount Vernon, Virginia. We all know that he was our first president, the father of our country. Much of what we do in government today was established by Washington. Lost to the French at Fort Duquesne, essentially starting the French Indian War, reluctantly took the role of the general of the Continental Army during the Revolution, never won an engagement against the British, but he held the army together.
Yeah, keeping a bunch of farmers together against the British and their stout military, I mean, that's almost like Buster Douglas knocking out Iron Mike Tyson.
That's a good analogy. When the war ended, he relinquished his sword, went back to Mount Vernon until duty called again, and he was elected first president of the United States. Washington, kind of a reluctant hero as I see it, Dan.
Yeah, that may be the case, but at the same time, I don't think anyone goes out looking to be a hero. It just kind of falls upon them, kind of get thrown into the lion's den, you come back alive, you're a hero.
Yeah. Jackson from Nashville, Tennessee, 7th president. You mentioned him as a boy in the Revolutionary War, captured with his mother. British officer slashed him above the eye when he refused to shine his boots. Jackson carries that scar around like a badge of courage.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think he's going to have to come out with this one with that ferocious mentality that he has to go up against that great physique of Washington.
Yeah, great physique. Jackson, an orphan most of his life, learned to fight early and often. As a judge in Tennessee, had to uphold the law often by himself through duels. He was shot in 2 duels and inaugurated 2 bullets actually lodged in his body.
Yeah, by my count, I think that's 4 lead balls he's bringing into this match.
Lost the election of 1824 to John Quincy Adams after winning the most popular votes in electoral votes, just not a majority. Came back in 1828 to a brutal campaign. The Adams people attacked his wife, Rachel, incessantly. She died of a heart attack just before Jackson's inauguration.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I think he's a man on the mission, just with all the stuff baggage he's carrying, he's ready to get after it.
Yeah, so Jackson carrying some rage throughout his life. Washington marches down the aisle again with the Betsy Ross flag, flanked by, whoa, Baron von Steuben and Marquis de Lafayette. Look at his muscles bulging.
Does your wife know how you feel about Washington?
Washington sets his wig aside and waits in the corner of the octagon. Andrew Jackson heads down the aisle of the octagon here in Madison Square Garden. The two met in the center of the ring, touch gloves, great respect shown on both sides. The bell rings and holy smokes, Jackson comes after Washington with a flying roundhouse kick. Washington goes down. Jackson went to the mat with number 1, got in a couple of shots to the head. Washington covered up, protect himself, then got to his feet with Jackson holding on from behind. The destroyer of villages, he is just strong. Dan, the fight doctor, talked about mass in the octagon. Washington has it.
Yeah, it's a good thing. A smaller man in this situation wouldn't have been able to come out alive on this barrage.
Jackson still held on to the bigger Washington. Washington set his feet, lowered his center of gravity, and pushed back on Jackson, driving him into the fencing on the edge of the octagon. Worked behind Hickory, got him off the mat, and a suplex! And that may have hurt Jackson. For the first time in 4 bouts, Jackson's on the mat, unwillingly. Washington next pounded away at Jackson. The best Jackson could do was cover up. Jackson was bloodied by the wicked right. Jackson countered, but it looked bad. It was bad for Hickory. It's like Hickory, he will be buying the beer tonight. George Washington, old number 1, the father of our country, heading to the finals. Wow. Dan, your thoughts on what we just saw?
Yeah, this is exactly what we expected. Jackson to come out ruthless and relentless. He just ran into an immovable force here today in Washington.
No doubt. Washington, using the same strategy used in the Revolutionary War, lose a couple of battles and win the war.
Absolutely.
All right. In our second match, Zachary Taylor versus Teddy Roosevelt. Taylor lost 2 rounds to James Monroe, but swept his other 2 fights. Roosevelt, coming from the first round, has only lost 1 fall in 4 matches. Roosevelt, 26th president, governor of New York, secretary of the Navy, resigned during the Spanish-American War to lead the Rough Riders Division of the United States Volunteers. Their horses never showed up, and they had to go up San Juan Hill on foot. Roosevelt was made vice president for William McKinley, then assumed the presidency when McKinley was assassinated. Roosevelt, kind of a self-made man.
Yeah, there's nothing this guy can't do. A true Renaissance man of his time.
Suffered from asthma when he was young, went out west to work as a cowboy in the fresh air. I wonder if he's one of those singing cowboys, kind of a Hopalong Cassidy type.
I doubt it. I think he's all business on the range and in the ring.
All right, yeah, probably not. Kids mocked him when he was young because of his glasses, so he took up boxing, then a new Brazilian style of fighting called jiu-jitsu. Had a workout room in the White House. It was actually the White House library. This guy's been fighting all his life.
Yeah, you have a little thing for Washington. I got a thing for Teddy and everything he brings in.
In the other corner, Zachary Taylor, 1-term president, so the history books don't give him a lot of attention. Indian fighter out in the West.
Yeah, Taylor was born to fight. It doesn't matter who or how. He loves this stuff.
Rose to the rank of general by the time of the Mexican War started. He actually was the initiator of the war with Mexico, taking his troops across the Rio Grande.
He can swim too? What can't this guy do?
All right, once the war started, moved with speed and precision through northern Mexico, defeated Mexican armies that were much bigger than his own.
Yeah, I kind of see similarities here with Washington too, going against the British. Smaller armies going against the bigger ones, but taking them down.
He was so effective in prosecuting the war that then President Polk had to call him off, fearing that he would win the next presidential election, which he did.
Yeah, rookie mistake by Polk here. You know, they say keep your friends close, your enemies closer. He should have saw this coming, made him his VP. He keeps his presidency.
Well, that's a smart plan. Hey, a ton of respect for these two men and a ton of respect between them. The two circle each other for about 30 seconds, Teddy throwing a couple of jabs, deflected by Taylor. Taylor counters with a right hook blocked by Roosevelt. Then the right-left combination from Taylor put Roosevelt on the mat. Taylor stays on his feet. Roosevelt got back up, shouting, "Bully! Bully for you, Zach Taylor." Teddy climbed back to his feet again and then circled some more. Taylor goes for the double leg takedown and gets behind Roosevelt. Teddy got the reversal on Taylor. Taylor escaped from Roosevelt's hold, and the two got back on their feet. Teddy then went on offense, using his boxing skills. Backed Taylor into one of the corners. Roosevelt then drove his shoulder into Taylor. Oh, headbutt from Teddy. A couple of hard shots to the ribs hurt Taylor. Taylor escaped the corner, and the two circled again in the center of the ring. Teddy went for the ribs again. A right-left combination, and then a right cross to Taylor's eye. Taylor stumbled. Teddy with a double leg takedown, circled behind, and got Taylor in a chokehold. Taylor tried to escape, but Roosevelt was just too strong. Taylor was just about to go out, and Roosevelt let him up. Taylor, back to his feet, smiles at Teddy Roosevelt. Fists up. Whoa, roundhouse kick. Down goes Taylor. Down goes Taylor. Down goes Taylor. Here'll be buying the beer tonight. Teddy Roosevelt headed to the finals. Dan.
Yeah, I was thinking Taylor would have put up a better fight than he did in this one, but I think that's more of a testament to Teddy and everything he's capable of rather than Taylor himself.
Roosevelt, man, that guy can fight. So we are set. We have taken the field down from 44-2, and after this weekend, there'll be one left standing. It is the two men from two different ages, two different times. George Washington, the father of our country, old number one, versus Theodore Roosevelt. Two men have battled through the presidential madness bracket and now stand on the cusp of greatness once again. Ring the bell so you know when the bell rings on our presidential madness final. You don't want to miss it, Dan.
No, this will be a fight to remember. Each man is well deserving to be here. I can't wait to see how this one shakes out.
Well, I can't wait either. All right, well, until then, I want to thank our producer, Casey Moulton, and Mr. Brent Allen for letting us borrow his studio here on the campus of Columbia High School. I also want to thank my partner, Dan Young, for helping me along here. And the next time you see two presidents squaring up in an octagon, remember me. I'm Mark Haggard. I'm a history teacher, and I'm going rogue.